Hey crafty people, I'm Sarah, also known as Craft Nerd because I'm a nerd who loves to craft. Over the years I've dabbled in most types of crafting, although for the past decade or so I've been doing primarily card making and mixed media art. I've recently embarked on a junk journaling journey that I hope you'll join me on. Welcome to part 2 of our Halloween Tab Bound Booklet project. Today we are going to work on creating a page that's got a spooky family portrait on it, and we're going to work on the front cover. Let's get crafting. Okay, so for this page I wanted to do something a little different. So what I've got is I printed out, these are by GiggleGlitterGFXs, and I printed them out on transparency paper. So there, we've got two families. That family. We've got this family. And what I want to do is, one family's going to go on one side, one's going to go on the other. I've die cut out from, this page is from Tracie Fox LoveJunkJournal's the Gothic Grunge papers. And then just out of some gray cardstock, I cut it a couple more times. And what I did to create this frame was I took two of the dies from one of the chapter 3 die sets. Maybe the one with the envelope, because this would create a piece that would fit right in the envelope. And I taped them together. And because I didn't want this really sticking, the tape, the exposed tape sticking to the stuff I was cutting out, I dusted it with baby powder to get rid of the stickiness. Taped it together so that I could get the same size frame each time I cut it, because I cut it out 6 times. And what we're gonna do, and of course, I forgot when I was going through and stamping that these guys were originally going to just sit on here, and the stamping is not going to work for me anymore. So what we're going to end up doing is using the pieces left behind so that we'll have our little portraits, and I'm going to put tabs on them so that they can slide in and out. And I'm also going to put on here from the Tim Holtz Idea-ology Halloween 2023 sticker book, I want to put the skulls so that when the faces slide in and out, it's gonna look like we've got little kids with the skulls and the mom and the dad with the skull. So I know you're kind of wondering what on earth, but stick with me. I'm hoping this is gonna work out. Fingers crossed it's gonna work the way I have it in my mind to work. So we're gonna start by gluing together our frames. So creepy portrait frame piece, take 2. So I had this idea for this piece, and I filmed the making of this side, and well, quite frankly, it was a hot mess. I learned a lot while doing it, and so that bit's not going to show up in the video, the hot mess. And we're going to do, because the plan was to do this family of portraits on one side, because this is from the GiggleGlitterGFX digital, and so we've got one family of portraits, so they were going to go on this side. And then the kit also had another family of portraits that I was planning on doing on the second side. So I was always planning on doing this twice, just wasn't planning on filming twice. To create this, what we need, in addition to our printables printed out on transparency sheet, is I die cut the frame for it to go in. So I die cut it once out of a printable from Tracie Fox LoveJunkJournal's, I think it's Gothic Grunge background papers, and then I cut it 4 more times out of gray cardstock. So what we are going to do, layer 1 is going to go on straight up to layer 2, basically because I printed this on a really light weight paper, and so I want to reinforce it. So we're going to glue it onto one of our cardstock frames. And I'm using Art Glitter Glue to glue this together, but you can use whatever glue you prefer. Now for the next 2 layers, we are going to cut off this side because we're going to be sliding. Let's double check. Ooh, no, it's the reverse. Since we're going to be sliding them in, we need to take out the part that will block it from sliding in, because basically what we're creating is a channel for it to go into the piece. So we're going to trim off on these 2 pieces the one side, and now we're going to glue these 2 pieces onto this piece. Ooh, that's like sticking way up there. Let's fix that. Make sure you line it up top and bottom. So there we go, we've got those layers. Now for this one, because we want the photos to slip a little bit under this side, we're going to take this section off as we did on the other 2. And we're also going to use a craft knife to just take a sliver of this piece off so that it'll slide underneath here when we go to put them in and out. And I think I'm also going to do a little bit like that and a little bit like that, and then just take a little bit off. And we'll attach that. So that this way, when we have it attached on and it slides on, there'll be enough room for it to just slide over all the way under this lip a little bit. All right, so next we are going to take our gray piece. We've got our little frame. And what we're gonna do is place our skull on here. And what we're gonna do is use one of these pieces to, all right, there's too much along this side, so let's trim some of that down. Because we want our skull to be center-ish. So we want this to go in far enough. I think, yeah, this guy's too tall as well. So we're gonna take a sliver, just a sliver, off the top. We're also gonna flip this over and see if part of our problem is that we need to take a little more off this side. Just round in the corners a little bit to make it easier going in and out. So if I do it like that, yes, I'm on screen. All right, so it's gonna slide in to about there. This is definitely one of those fiddly projects because everything's very slippery because of the acetate of the transparency sheet. And I'm just trying to make sure I'm going to put the head, and I think I'm going to take a little bit more off of this. I think I want him going in a little bit further than he is currently going. Yep, I think that works. And so we're going to place our skull underneath where his face is. So there we go. Now we're going to use this as our template for trimming up the pieces. So this gets slid into the stop line. And actually, I think I need to take a little bit more off the bottom. Yeah, we're gonna need to take a little bit more off of here. So yeah, by lining his face up with the skull, I can then trim it down appropriately. So we're gonna round corners because it makes it easier to get them to slide in and out, just kind of nicking off the corner. And then we're gonna trim this piece down. And so when it's on, it should slide into place. And sit over there, and I cut that a little bit too much off, but that's okay. It's close enough. It does not have to be perfect. So next up is Dad. So we just line up his face with our skeleton and then trim off accordingly so that it'll fit in. So little sliver left over on this side. Round our corners. And our little girl. And then Mom. Okay, so now we are going to glue this guy down. Ink our edges, which I don't think I remembered to do on the other piece. I'm using black Distress ink to ink my edges here. and glue it down. Just gonna hold it down a little minute till it sets. Now, to enable us to slide our pieces in and out with ease, we're going to put little tabs. And last time on this set, I used some faux stamps by Artymaze, but I'm noticing they're not quite long enough. Like the tabs are a little short. So I think I'm going to try using, these are from the same digital kit, I think, or companion digital kit. I don't remember off the top of my head. But it is by GiggleGlitterGFXs. I'll leave a link to the kit down below. So what we're just gonna do is put these on as little tabs. I'm gonna ink our edges. And I'm just using black soot distress ink because that's what I've got out for various bits and bobs. I'm also going to ink on the other side just in case, because, you know, these are hand cut out. When I fold them over, they may not line up perfectly, and we don't want white showing. And then I'll just fold it in half. And to glue it on as a tab. I'm going to let it dry before I toast it out, because otherwise I might end up pulling the tab off, and then I have to re-glue it, and it's just a mess then. So I'm going to do these for all 4 of them. So our little boy should be dry enough on the tab that we can test him out. Let's just... All right, let's try that again. There we go. So hopefully it will show up on the screen that if you tilt it a certain way, I don't know that it's, there we go. When you tilt them a certain way, and sorry about the glare, let's see if I can adjust that a little bit. So yeah, pretty much it's only showing up when I get some glare on there on the screen. But yeah, in real life, when you shift it, depending on which way you shift it, you can either see the little boy's face, or maybe now, versus the skull. So we've got the little boy, we've got Dad, there you can see Dad's face. It definitely works better in real life than on the screen for seeing the transition from skeleton to real person, but I just think that's so cool. And I feel like Mom may need a sliver taken off her edge. I think we need to take just a sliver off over here. I think she'll fit in a little bit better with a little bit taken off over here. Let's try that again. And then daughter. So you've got the skull, and then the little girl's face. And I know we see gaps top and bottom, which is what happened on the other one. So we're just going to pull out some phrases from that kit. Let's see if I've got any good ones. And in a second here, I'm going to have to go let a dog out because it's just so hard to be him. That is not long enough. That is a little on the long side, but I think we're gonna go with it. And then I've got this one, which we'll put on the top. So let me ink the edges, and then we'll glue this down. That will just cover any gaps because they don't line up exactly perfect. And then we can stick our extras in the pocket with the other family. So you can change them out as you wish. And I did just go ahead, because I was flipping the page and realized it was getting in the way, glue down these sides. I'm not gluing down those sides because I figured out from when I was doing this one that if you do that, you'll have problems slipping your pieces in and out. Okay, so we're gonna work on the front piece, and we're gonna use her, and we're making her into a witch. And I'm also going to put down the side a quote from Shakespeare from Macbeth. We're gonna go with "Something wicked this way comes." And I've got a label maker, and I have a tape for it that's black with the white lettering, and so I just used it to print out the phrase. And we're gonna give her a broomstick, and this is a die cut. It's from cute little happy snowman. This is Winston 665569, and so I just die cut out the broom to serve as the base for her broomstick. And before we start attaching stuff, I want to add a piece of this, which a pack of Brussels sprouts came in. So we're gonna add this on, and let's grab some scissors so we can cut it down, just to add a little bit more interest and texture to our background. So I'm just gonna glue it down in a few spots, and then once we put her down, she'll help hold it in place as well. So let's see how this goes. Never actually glued this down, so fingers crossed it's gonna work. So far, not so good. think it's just a matter of letting it sit till the glue dries without it popping up. So we're just going to hold that in place for a minute. I'm going to set it aside and let the glue dry the rest of the way, and we can work on our witch. So for her broomstick, I just die cut it out of some gray cardstock I had lying around. Let's protect the mat. I am going to grab some Distress Ink Gathered Twigs, and we're going to ink this whole thing up with that. So we're just going to ink our broomstick. Next step is I have got a piece of, so I dyed some cheesecloth and I dyed it in grays, and then I just added, to get this into a little bit more of a color that we want for this piece, some old paper distress spray stain, and we're just gonna kind of attach it to our broomstick base. I'm going to use some Fabri-Tac for that. And I'm going to try not to get it on the cutting mat. We're just going to add that on there like so. Kind of rough it up a little bit. Probably trim it off a little bit. Let's see, let's pull some of this up this way. Add a little bit more glue over here. So it's just kind of fiddling with it until you get it how you like it. So like that, I'm gonna do there. And we wanna have it come in a little. I think I am going to snip, because it's folded over down here, and actually fold some of this that's down here upwards. So we've got a little bit down here, and then the rest of this can go up like that. We'll add a little bit more Fabri-Tac to make sure it stays like that, and add some down here so that we can make sure we've got the shape we want. We'll just pull all of this in and have it frayed at the bottom there. Got some frayed bits coming off, and so I may just add a little bit more Fabri-Tac and try and get them off my fingers and onto the piece. Put a little bit down here just to keep this piece on. Here's some more little frayed bits that came off. And so I just got this little piece over here I want to glue down so it stays over, like so. And then I've got some hemp cord that I also colored with a little old paper, just to get it a better color. And so we're going to put a little fabric tack down and put our hemp cord on, and we're going to wrap it a couple times. And move that piece back around. And this piece over here. We're going to trim off our excess. And so there we go. We've got her broomstick. And of course she needs a witch's hat. So I'm going to use one of the witch hat stickers. And what I am going to do so that I can set her head, you know, set it so that it's on her head, is put a little slit in the hat about there. And I'm going to peel it off. And so her head will go through so that the hat will sit on her head like a hat should. And we're going to add a little bit of glue behind her head to keep it attached. And because this is going to end up sticking up above my booklet, I don't want it to be sticky, so we are going to take a little bit of baby powder, put it down on my mat. I'm going to grab a soft brush and just grab the baby powder and apply it to the back of the hat so that it will not be sticky where we don't want it to be sticky. I am also going to come in, and because we want her to be holding it, I'm going to cut out her fingers so that we can put it so that it looks like it's underneath her finger, so that it's in her hand. So I'm going to cut through. And so we will stick the broomstick in her hand like so. That's not working so great. All right, we're going to do a little bit more cutting out of this hand so that we can hopefully get it so that it looks like she's holding it and have it going the direction we want. All right, so this is not working so great, but I think it's okay, and I think we can still get this on in a way that'll work. And our bits are finally dry. So we are gonna put her on like so. The broom is gonna go like so, and I am gonna do my darndest to get the dang thing under her finger. And yeah, that did not work at all. So we're just gonna glue it down and keep on, just move right along. So I'm just gonna put glue on the back of her. And then we're gonna glue down our broom, and I'm hoping she's gonna stay. Yeah, I think she may need a little bit more glue back there. We're just gonna leave her and hope everything sticks. Okay, let's add our Something Wicked This Way Comes. And I'm gonna trim a little bit more off over here. And hopefully keep it straight. And because these are labels, they're stickers, so I just have to peel the little back off. And stick it down. I have a feeling adding this is gonna turn out to have been a mistake. So there we go. There is our cover. And I definitely need to make something to get tucked into the pocket. And hopefully she is going to stay glued down. I'm hoping if I just leave her alone for a little while, she will adhere and everything will be fine and I'm not going to have an issue with her popping off. So this is where we're going to stop for today, and I'm going to leave you with some close-ups of our creepy family portraits. Next time we'll do a few more pages in this and a final flip through. If you enjoyed this video, please do all the things that lets YouTube know you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave me a comment or question down below. Thanks for joining me, and happy crafting!